Thoughts on Seth's Naruto vs. Ichigo animation? Well, I saw the trailer, and I think it's pretty professional. Admittedly, I have further to learn when it comes to Bleach as far as how powerful Ichigo is. They are compared a lot, so that kind of, to me, means inductively that there's something to offer from the Bleach universe as far as what they can do. Of course, I have to finish it in its entirety. I'm still watching it, but I think it's pretty professional looking. I know Seth said he's not done yet with it. That's just kind of like a skeleton of what it is going to be, and I thought it was pretty well done. It's probably gonna blow up once the whole thing is posted. It's probably gonna blow up. It's gonna be one of those animations with millions of views, just like the other ones we see throughout, the anime community. Like, I've seen a few good ones. I think Seth's is gonna be one of those for sure. Seems pretty invested in it, so Seth always does a good job. As far as what is coming in the future, since no one has questions, if you have questions, feel free. I'll probably react to a video or two here. But I'm going to be trying to post more original content. Not to say that my content isn't original, but more content that's made by me specifically. I have more time on my hands, let's just put it at that. So I have some ideas in mind. I have, the inner workings of my mind are going. Trying to come with more content for you guys. I have some individuals that I am conversing with to try to do collab videos. Not anyone that it's just like people that I know personally. They have knowledge on Naruto, so try to collab with them. Get some interesting topics out there for you guys to think about and hear about, Let me look at what you guys recommended for videos to react to. Alright, so there's a couple of videos you guys recommended. Both by NC Hammer. Oh no, one's by NC Hammer, one's by Six. Okay. So guys, let me know. Would you guys rather me react to the real reason Sakuma Hatake was not reincarnated by NC Hammer? Or would you guys rather me react to Six's video on how strong are the Sannin? Let me know what you guys would rather watch. NC Hammer or Six? What do you guys think? The Six video. Very well. Anyone else have a vote? Going once. Going twice. Very well. Let us commence this. Let me go to the video real quick. That should be good. If you guys can see that well, let me know. Let me get the right audio. Let's see Six's thoughts on how strong are the Sannin. I'm very interested. Alright. Let us commence, folks. Here we go. It's a little lag.
The Sannin have an
If you guys can hear it, let me know. I can turn it up, turn it down, just let me know.
Not only in terms of power, but politically as well. Their name carries a great deal of weight throughout the Five Nations, so much so that Orochimaru's attack on Konoha had spooked the Raikage into wanting to learn new jutsu, likely due to fear for his own life. Today I'll be going over how strong they are, as well as some of their abilities. For this, I'll be primarily sticking to the manga and data books, but I'll also include a few things from the anime for those of you that want to use it. First, I'd like to address a lot of incorrect things people in this community tend to say when trying to scale the Sannin. I've touched on some of this before in other videos, but I just want to reiterate these things again so you guys can better understand where I think the Sannin scale compared to other Naruto characters. Okay, so first off, none of the Sannin scale to Pain. Pain is one of those characters like Minato and Itachi that have been portrayed as a higher level than the Sannin, In the weekly release of the manga says,
wait, what did he say about Itachi? Let me hear that
word,
again.
stating despair when facing those characters like Minato and Itachi that have been portrayed as higher level than the Sannin. In the weekly release of the manga says this virtually word for word, stating that even someone of Sage Jiraiya's caliber is made to feel shock, amazement, and despair when facing pain, with Jiraiya even admitting pain will kill him at the rate the fight was going, after all his strongest attacks failed to do anything against pain. The manga also says pain is invincible and violent compared to Tsunade, and he calls her power meaningless. Also, if you look at the video game, Pain violates and bisects Orochimaru with Almighty Push when recruiting him to join the Akatsuki.
Let's be honest, that's probably what would have happened if we would have seen that in the manga or the anime. Let's be honest. He's just superior, clearly. Pain is superior.
So it's fair to say the narrative within the series, that being the manga, and outside the series, that being the video game or anime continuity, consistently portrays the Sannin as being inferior to Pain. You don't see too much of this anymore, but some people also have a problem with Sage Naruto beating Sage Jiraiya and the other Sannin. Even though
I don't understand
verbatim stated several times that I've surpassed him. I really just don't see how people can't grasp this, but the whole narrative building up to the Pain fight is that Naruto is training to surpass Jiraiya.
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly. That's what I was just thinking.
And defeat an opponent that he couldn't, that being Pain.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Pain killed Jiraiya. So hear me out. Fukusaku says while training Naruto back in chapter 418, having a better sage mode than Jiraiya may mean that Naruto exceeds him as a sage, and the volume summary directly preceding this confirms this in terms of power. And when he later says Naruto has surpassed his predecessors, the data book confirms his sage mode is beyond theirs. So even if you want to say this just means Naruto is a better sage, the manga still indicates this is a reason as to why Naruto is more powerful than Jiraiya. So just to give a quick rundown for those of you who may be new to scaling Naruto or are just more interested in learning more about the series, the three legendary Sannin, aka Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade, are some of the strongest shinobi in Konoha history, and are widely considered to be the strongest shinobi, up there with the Kage according to the data books. The Sannin are always presented as being shinobi that are on the same level in terms of overall combative ability, while all having their own unique powers and fighting styles, with the data book and characters like Ebisu indicating that to take down one of the Sannin, you would need another Sannin's help. But obviously, we can interpret this to mean you would need someone who is Sannin level or stronger, i.e. Pain, Itachi,
it's all about the semantics.
Sasuke, Sage
I agree.
Naruto. This is also supported by their team's nickname, the Three Deadlock, which is a metaphor used to symbolize how their different fighting styles, strengths, and weaknesses, they are all a match for one another. At least in base, this is going to be supported by some stuff we'll go over later. So I'll start things off here by going over Orochimaru as he appeared during part 1 when he launched Konoha Crush. Even though Orochimaru is on the same level as Jiraiya and Tsunade, he is implied heavily by the manga and some anime material to be the strongest out of the Sannin in base. Hiruzen implies he thinks this during the fight with Orochimaru, and Orochimaru implies whenever he and Jiraiya fought that he always won. However, due to other statements surrounding the Sannin, we know even if you want to say Orochimaru is superior to the other Sannin, that he would beat them in a fight, they are all still on the same level in terms of combat. Orochimaru is just at the tippity top of this level. The easiest way to scale this form of Orochimaru is by using his fight with old Hiruzen. The manga, data books, fan books, and anime
currently
all
reacting
portray
to Six's
Hiruzen
video.
versus Orochimaru as an incredibly close fight, with both of them stated to be equals numerous times. A lot of people will immediately ask,
wait, wasn't Hiruzen holding back / mentally nerfed?
And while that's
I want to
true,
hear this.
the
Let's see what he
second
says.
data book states that Orochimaru was playing around with Hiruzen and viewed the fight as a boring pastime, and is stated to be stronger than Hiruzen to some degree numerous times outside of this encounter. Hiruzen also only actually begins to compete with Orochimaru after getting super amped by his desire to protect Konoha, so the narrative seems to indicate that they're at least around the same level.
I agree with
but
that.
You can argue Oro
Bare
edges
minimum,
him
they're
out
relative.
via some data book statements. Next, to quickly go over how strong old Hiruzen is, we need to take a look at some of the statements surrounding him back in part 1. Kabuto says Hiruzen has a reputation of being the strongest of the 5 Kage at the time, and while you could say people like A trained and got stronger after this, there are some ways to say this still means Hiruzen and people should be above that Kage level, as Kage level is a meta because we know not all Kage are the same strength.
Fuck. But yeah, basically, not all Kage created equal, so the term Kage level is quite
Even while mentally
ambiguous.
nerved and arguably fatigued, Hiruzen still goes toe-to-toe with the Edo Hokage and with the Anbu described as a Hokage level battle, with the second data book confirming this. Depending on how you interpret these and a fanbook statement that calls the title of the Hokage the top of the ninja world, you could argue being Hokage level puts you above the other Kage, but I'll
Agreed.
admit that's a little too edgy when you look at some of the things that Kages like A do during the time of the war arc. So ultimately, this should mean even while weakened, Hiruzen is still a Kage level combatant, which supports the Sannin being around that level in their base forms. While most of Orochimaru's scaling comes from part 1, he remains a pretty strong villain compared to the others we see in Naruto, even going into early part 2. Numerous characters, including Sasuke himself, say the only reason that Sasuke was able to beat Orochimaru was due to Orochimaru being weakened by the Reaper Death Seal and the illness caused by his body rejecting him. Deidara, one of the most arrogant Akatsuki members, who has a whole beef with Orochimaru, not kidding, the only reason Deidara even fought Sasuke was because he was pissed he killed Orochimaru before he could, and he even says he can't believe Orochimaru would lose to someone like Heavy Sasuke, who's actually stronger than the Sasuke for Orochimaru.
Yeah, some of them
seeing
definitely
him
are.
fight. Now, when it comes to Orochimaru's abilities, he's well known for having a pretty wide and diverse arsenal of techniques that range from different kinds of summoning jutsu to poisons, healing, and other powerful ninjutsu. But before we get into those, I want to quickly touch on how powerful his aura and presence is. As I said before, Orochimaru is viewed as one of the most frightening characters in the verse, and one of the reasons for this is his ability to strike fear in people at just a glance. This has been enough to make Jonin level characters like Part 1 Kakashi and Kabuto view fighting Orochimaru as insane and had them frozen
even Kakashi
in place,
feared him.
literally
Part
just
1.
shitting themselves. Orochimaru is able to do this to Kabuto even after being weakened by the loss of his arms. So based on this, we can reach the conclusion that Jonin can't even step to Orochimaru.
Correct.
And with these two particular Jonin, Kabuto and Kakashi, you could even argue that he could do this to opponents of even Kage level. So yeah, Orochimaru is definitely pretty strong off of just his aura alone. Let's get into some of Orochimaru's abilities. Orochimaru's fighting style mainly centered around his talent in ninjutsu, in particular his skill with summoning based techniques. With various forms of summoning jutsu, Orochimaru can summon small snakes from his mouth and sleeves to bind or attack his enemy, or giant sage snakes like Manda, who was beating Gamabunta and Katsuya at the same time, blades like his sword of Kusanagi, and with the Edo Tensei, he can summon and make pawns out of the most powerful shinobi like the first and second Hokage, albeit much weaker than they appeared during the war arc.
Of course.
And if you want to use the anime, he can also summon the third Kazekage with Edo Tensei. He can also summon the Rashomon gates to defend himself and absorb, disperse, and suppress oncoming attacks. And even while arguably weakened and without the soul of his arms, he was still able to summon 3. This is pretty impressive since base Hashirama summons only 2 more than him, but you could also say that this is more of a casual feat for Hashirama. Orochimaru is also incredibly skilled with sealing jutsu, and we see this when he tampers with Minato's seal placed on Naruto, as well as the curse seal he can use to paralyze his targets. Orochimaru is also talented when it comes to elemental jutsu, with the 4th data book listing him as being able to use all 7 basic nature transformations. Sadly, the only one we actually get to see Orochimaru use is Wind Style, which the data book says he can use to
next to no
casually
chakra
make
part 1.
hurricanes,
Notice in the
Earth
war he's basically
Style,
scamming,
which he can use to make
Yep.
blood clones.
It seems there is
and a
quite
few
an
offensive
evolution for
fire style
Kakashi.
techniques he used against
Power-wise,
Sasuke in the Forest of Death.
stamina-wise,
A lot
it's
of
quite
Orochimaru's
insane.
hacks that make him
Quite
so
insane.
hard to kill stem from the many experiments
Most likely to
he
fit the
had
narrative,
conducted
right?
over
Because
the
if he had that
years
kind
in
of
order to
stamina
enhance
by
his
the war
body.
arc, he'd be useless
Orochimaru's
against
healing
someone like
factor and
Obito.
serpentine
or
anatomy both
just in the
stem
war in
from
general,
what the data
so
book calls
it
the
was kind
power
of
the white
inevitable
snake.
that he would
It
get
is
a boost
implied
in
he
power.
acquired this ability when he went to Ryuchi
Quite-
Cave to learn
quite
Sage Mode
drastic
and turned
boost,
into
but
a
still,
snake
it
after
was
failing to
necessary
properly
for the
absorb
narrative.
nature energy when the Great Snake Sage bit him. This is also what allows Orochimaru to survive lethal attacks by reconnecting himself with snakes or shedding his skin, heal from injuries at a rapid rate, and the ability to use his true form, a large serpent made of smaller serpents that can regenerate. Orochimaru's blood also has a toxin that when exposed to the air becomes a powerful paralytic. The third data book says this is also what allows Orochimaru to use his strongest jutsu, the 8 branches technique, which uses the power of the white snake to transform Orochimaru into a giant Kusanagi wielding hydra that can regrow its heads. This form of Orochimaru is stated to be bigger than even Manda and surpass Orochimaru himself. Outside of that, you could use Pain's statement to say he might be on par with Sage Jiraiya and pre-war 100 healing Tsunade, but that's about all since he doesn't really do anything in this form other than get folded by a blind deathbed Itachi. I forgot to mention this earlier, but being stronger than Heavy Sasuke should be enough to put Orochimaru and by extension the other base Sannin above most of the low-level Akatsuki members, since Sasuke is implied by the manga and third data book to be stronger than the grunt-level Akatsuki members we were first introduced to, like Deidara, Kakuzu,
It's
Hidan,
a fair
and
transitive
possibly Konan as well.
connection.
This is kind of supported by the first fan book in the anime profile guides, which imply that Orochimaru was seen as the strongest and most feared villain at the time. While this obviously wouldn't include people stronger than Orochimaru like Obito, Pain, or Itachi, who maybe just aren't
So fat.
God
Brendan,
damn it.
you're not fat. It's the shirt.
These fucking ads, man.
Look at Nate. His true.
Alright, there we
aren't
go.
as
Sorry
well
about that,
known
guys.
as the Sannin at this point in time. It should still support Orochimaru being superior than a lot of other Akatsuki members and help you guys understand how Orochimaru is viewed in the actual story. Moving on to Jiraiya, since all the base Sannin are around the same level, we can pretty much use Orochimaru and Old Hiruzen as measuring sticks to see how strong Jiraiya and Tsunade are. Like I said earlier, while Orochimaru is strong enough to beat base Jiraiya, they are still on the same level, with the first data book telling us this verbatim. Orochimaru and Jiraiya's dynamic mirrors Naruto and Sasuke's rivalry in part 1, and the second data book puts it this way. Jiraiya basically keeps up with Orochimaru's talent and development of forbidden ninjutsu through what the data book calls Spartan training, brutal combat, and basically the resolve to always preserve. So what we can gather from this is that while Orochimaru may be more talented and have better ninjutsu than Jiraiya, he reaches this level through sheer physical strength, so he'd at least be a match for him physically, like how Naruto would combat Sasuke's strength in part 1.
Right.
While you can probably say Tsunade is physically superior to Orochimaru and Jiraiya due to some stuff I'll touch on later, you can argue Jiraiya could still beat her with his ninjutsu or hacks, since he still thinks he can kill her even after acknowledging her physical strength. Base Jiraiya being
good
on
point.
par with the other Sannin and Old Hiruzen would also place him in this high Kage tier. Some more important stuff to support this would be Jiraiya's desire to fight / spar with Old Hiruzen, which you could say means Jiraiya thinks he's an opponent he can face, as well as Naruto 1 Decade 100 Ninja Anniversary Guide for the manga, which says with the ninjutsu Jiraiya learned at Mount Miyaboku, he has surpassed the techniques of the other villages since the Shinobi Wars. This would mean, at least at the point in the series, Jiraiya's numerous toad-based jutsu were superior to the magnet style of Kazekage's maze lava and vapor
Right,
style,
right.
the Raikage's lightning cloak, and even Inoki's particle style. And while that may sound a little crazy, like I said before, some characters like A go on to become stronger, and when we go over some abilities of Jiraiya's, this will start to make more sense. Jiraiya, like Orochimaru, has a wide variety of useful techniques in his arsenal that range from toad summons and elemental jutsu to the Rasengan and different types of sealing jutsu. A lot of Jiraiya's abilities revolve around his skill with the summoning jutsu, like Orochimaru and his snakes. Jiraiya's contact with the toads at Mount Miyaboku that allow him to summon numerous toads who can assist him in combat, like Gamakin or his main summon Gamabunta, who is stated to be the strongest of the giant toads, and is powerful enough to fight not
wish he
only a
trained
fully
Naruto.
transformed Gaara,
Oh,
but
earlier
Manda
to
as
honor
well,
Minato, you would've
alongside Katsui.
had another father
Jiraiya's
figure
skill
besides
with the
Rurouni.
summoning jutsu goes even further.
Yeah, I think
than
Kakashi,
this.
after the
He
death
can
of
also
all
summon
his,
the belly
what he
of the
thought
giant
were his
fire-breathing
comrades,
toad
right?
to trap and consume
He
enemies.
kind of
Jiraiya
just
is
started
also shown to
going
be
with the
skilled in
flow until he
elemental
met
jutsu,
Team 7,
specifically
the original
fire
Team
style
7.
and earth
Well,
style.
the
Jiraiya
next
has
Team
been
7, I should
shown
say.
to use many
That's when he
offensive
started to have more
fire style
resolve
like his flame bombs,
and he started to take things more serious again. That's when he really started to
style to create swamps big enough to sink enemies.
Take the world seriously. I think he had a moment in time where he was just going with the flow.
People to have mastered the Rasengan,
kind of had like that nihilistic take on the world to some extent. Still a shinobi, but at the same time he was just
in the anniversary guide
low in resolve until he met Naruto and Sasuke Sakura.
Jiraiya using a flaming Rasengan, like how he does in some of the video games. So you can definitely make an argument for him being able to use
Jiraiya says Tsunade nearly killed him earlier and just beats down Orochimaru the entire fight.
skill
Well, to be fair, that wasn't a legitimate encounter between Jiraiya and Tsunade. It was just being drooling over her and she got upset. And her beating out Orochimaru, I mean, he was pretty disabled.
As well as developing ceiling tags.
Adding on to that, he really didn't take her serious.
Which Kakashi was able to use to suppress KM3 Naruto, or Three Tails. I also want to quickly touch on Jiraiya's Sage Mode, which when used with Mon Pa dramatically increases the strength of Jiraiya's ninjutsu, genjutsu, and taijutsu, which is often defined by strength and speed. So this form, like Orochimaru's Hydra and Tsunade's strength of 100 healing seal, takes Jiraiya beyond the level he was previously and give him access to even crazier and stronger abilities than in base. For example, in Sage Mode, Jiraiya can create his Master Rasengan big enough to easily carve away a mountain according to the third data book, and can use fire style 10 times larger than what he uses in base due to toad oil that can reach temperatures of up to several thousand degrees Celsius, which would be way hotter than our Earth's sun. Sage Jiraiya also has Mon Pa for support, who along with assisting in ninjutsu attacks can use the Toad Song, which binds a target's psyche and is what the third data book calls the most powerful genjutsu, which can arguably mean Sage Jiraiya's Toad Song is more powerful than even Tsukuyomi. Another thing I want to note about this genjutsu is that it worked on Pain, who is shown to have numerous genjutsu barriers, and this is probably what made Pain say the secret of how his abilities worked is what enabled the other paths to avoid genjutsu and beat Jiraiya, and he may have lost all 6 paths if they were all out. You can say Pain's statement implies Sage Jiraiya is on par with Orochimaru's Hydra and Tsunade's strength of 100 seal at that point, and if you use the anime where Jiraiya still lost but actually fought all 6 paths of Pain.
Oh God.
You'd lose.
Maybe say the statement from Pain Art Kakashi implies he's not as strong as Sage Jiraiya yet. Last but not least, let's go over Tsunade.
Goddamn ads. That's a rare argument for Sage Jiraiya. Toad Song
Credit Karma helps members get approved for a credit card 66% more often with Karma Confidence technology.
Fucking ads, bro.
Okay. While Tsunade definitely doesn't display the same level of versatility as Orochimaru and Jiraiya in terms of her arsenal, she reaches their level of combat.
Do you mean that the Toad Song being above Tsukuyomi is a rad argument?
According to multiple sources like the fan book, due to her raw physical strength. We see this pretty frequently during the earlier parts of the manga, with Jiraiya basically admitting inferiority to her in terms of physical combat and implying she's still strong enough to mess him up as bad as she did when she almost killed him. This is also supported by Orochimaru warning Kabuto that she could one-shot them with her kicks, and while Orochimaru was weakened, the databook tells us no one could receive this kick from Tsunade and avoid being pulverized. The anniversary guide also says this kick has enough power to blow away a country if you're looking for a way to visualize how strong this kick from Tsunade is. So in order to understand how strong Tsunade is throughout the series, we need to talk about her will of fire that she inherited from the other Hokage and how it relates to her strength. Tsunade, like many other shinobi from Konoha, like Kakashi, and Naruto,
I could see that.
shares her grandfather's philosophy known as the will of fire.
I have some thoughts on the data
Tsunade's
books
willpower acts as a source for Tsunade's strength, and she, as well as the manga, tell us these words verbatim. This is also why her strength fluctuates so much during the series. Back during the Second War, Tsunade was considered to be the strongest ninja alongside Orochimaru and Jiraiya. But after experiencing trauma due to the loss of her lover Dan and younger brother Nawaki, she lost the will to fight and regressed in strength. By the time we see Tsunade in part 1, she's become rusty and is consumed by grief and her gambling habits. This also explains why initially no arms of Orochimaru and Kabuto are able to keep up with her. And the fact that Kabuto boosted his physical energy with a ration pill once Tsunade started to get tired. However, after meeting Naruto and noticing the similarities between him, Dan, and Nawaki, who all dreamed of becoming Hokage, the databook says this reignites the will of fire within Tsunade and inspires her to put her life on the line. This revived the once great Sannin, so you could say this is when she overcame her regression and rose back up to Jiraiya and Orochimaru's level. We also see this again during the war arc where against Madara, Tsunade says that her true power lies in the will of fire. After Madara's plan to demoralize her backfires, we see she becomes strong enough to tear apart his Susanoo, much to Madara's surprise. However, I do want to note that Tsunade was probably only able to accomplish these feats against Madara due to this mental amp and the fact that he was holding back. So like I said, while Tsunade doesn't have as many abilities as Jiraiya and Orochimaru, she still has some pretty interesting ones we should go over. While Tsunade is mainly known for her straightforward beat-down fighting style, her skills in medical ninjutsu give her access to a lot of useful abilities in combat. With her knowledge of the human body and more specifically the nervous system, Tsunade can use lightning style to rewire the brain signals and nervous system sends to the brain and make the opponent move in different directions. And while Kabuto was able to figure this out as he portrayed as one of the smartest characters in the series, even considered smarter than people like Orochimaru and Tobirama, Tsunade's biggest asset in combat is her Yin Seal. With the Yin Seal, Tsunade can use techniques like Creation Rebirth, which she can use to regrow organs and limbs, the technique 100 Healings, which uses chakra that has been continuously siphoned into the seal for years to give the user an insane amp. With the 100 Healings, Tsunade was stronger than even Lightened A according to Madara and was capable of damaging his Susanoo on multiple occasions. And while she was slower than him, also according to Madara, we see that she can still properly time her attacks in coordination with him and Inoki. However, it is important to note that we see on numerous occasions that Tsunade isn't durable enough to tank the level of the force she outputs. And even with her mental amps, she should cap right below the War Arc Sakura that unlocked the Yin Seal, since the databooks as well as numerous characters in the manga imply Sakura has surpassed Tsunade by this point. Well, this is probably just an indication to the audience from Kishimoto. Hashirama says Sakura may have surpassed Tsunade and she was like 5 when he died, so maybe that was the prime Tsunade was talking about part 1, who knows. But seriously, all jokes aside, Tsunade at the absolute strongest is slightly weaker than the Sakura that fought alongside KCM2 Naruto and EMS Sasuke. Lastly, like the other Sannin, Tsunade is skilled with the summoning jutsu and has her own boss summon Katsuyu. Katsuyu is considered to be in the same league as Manda and Gamabunta in terms of strength, and this is only 5% of Katsuyu's full body, which is so big that it encompasses the entire Shikotsu forest, and Sakura and Tsunade working together can only summon 1/10 of her body. Katsuyu also has the ability to heal others,
That's insane,
avoid attacks by splitting into smaller slugs, spit acid so corrosive that Orochimaru implies it can kill him, and can even heal Tsunade and others in coordination with the Yin Seal. So as you guys can see, while the Sannin aren't as strong as characters like Pain, Itachi, MS Sasuke, or Sage Naruto, they are still some of the strongest characters in the series, some of the most beloved by the fandom, and they should still scale above Jonin class fighters like pre-war Kakashi, Hebi Sasuke, and most of the Akatsuki. And with their wide range of abilities, you can make a lot of strong arguments for them beating Kage, and I want this video to be a fair analysis, so I don't really need to take it any further than that. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a
nice
like
video,
and
6.
subscribe.
Nice
and
video.
Other than that, have a nice day.
Peace. All right, let's see the comments real quick. Let's read what they say. I don't think Orochimaru being a Sannin had anything to do with the Red Kage wanting to train. Orochimaru just killed 2 Kage and attacked the strongest of the 5 nations. Preparing for the worst just made sense. I'm glad he started with Pain, considering that he's one of the characters who's fought all 3 Sannin within a similar time period as well. I mean, if you're talking to Sannin, then you have to talk about them as a team. Seeing as Jiraiya did versus Pain with absolutely no prep, it's not unreasonable to say that they would have stood a chance if Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya versus Pain. Not the young Sannin that got beaten by Danzo, who was beaten by Pain. But for sure, they're all grown a lot stronger since the war. I agree. Let's see. The Sannin are definitely not relative after... Oh, look at this guy's name. Look at this guy's fucking name, man. Let's continue what he says, though. They're considered on par all the way past even the era of Seijiraya and Orochi, and Tsunade, just have better scaling. What is he saying here? The Sannin are definitely not relative after a certain point. They're considered all on par all the way past... I think he's asking if that's what... For real, I feel like no one agrees that Warwick Tsunade is just barely stronger than Jiraiya. Because they underrated her. They really think Kishimoto showed us how weak the Kage are and not that how strong Madara is. And based on her feats against Madara, she would stop Jiraiya into the ground. Okay, I mean... all she did was crack his Susanoo. That kind of displays her strength, but in no way, shape, or form was he ever in a scenario of danger. He was toying with the Kage. So, I don't completely agree with this. She is physically superior as far as brute strength, obviously, to Jiraiya and Orochimaru, clearly. Let's see. Trying to see if there's any interesting takes here. What do you guys think about that? Tsunade definitely cracked. I agree. Definitely. That kind of power that she outputs is ridiculous. The brute strength that she possesses is impressive, for sure. Yeah, so my take on the Sannin is... Hey, let me go back to the images real quick. Let me put this back real quick. So my opinion on the Sannin is this. As far as the narrative being told, I think out of the three, the two that are the most relative are probably, I mean, it's contentious, probably Jiraiya and Orochimaru. Based on during the three-way deadlock, they were both disabled. Jiraiya was drugged by Tsunade, as we all know. Orochimaru had no fucking arms, and it was kind of a 2-on-1. So he never was in a scenario where he was in immediate danger for his life. Even getting beaten down by Tsunade, he was never greatly concerned, at least from my perception. I think at his best, he'd be above Tsunade. They're all relative for sure, clearly. Just the very name, the three legendary Sannin, implies it. It implies that they're somewhat relative. But based off feats, based off the narrative being told, the most powerful Sannin, I would say Orochimaru would beat Jiraiya most likely. It'd be high difficulty, extremely high. But yeah, it would be a very close fight. Tsunade did lift Gamakichi's sword there too. That's true. Yeah, it's an interesting conversation. Orochimaru, right, was able to defeat Hiruzen, right? I mean, he did have help from the Edo Tenseis, but they were vastly weaker than their original selves when they were alive. Hiruzen was still stated to be the strongest out of the Kage at that point in time, and Orochimaru was just as deadly as ever, right? So that Orochimaru probably most likely beats Jiraiya, but that's contentious, of course. It's still contentious. It's an interesting conversation. There's a lot of induction you have to make. Right? We don't have enough to make great deductive arguments. A lot of it is inductive. It's not empirical. It's more rational. And due to how contentious it is, you really can make an argument for several sides depending on your perspective, right? Because it's not concrete. right? It's not something that you could objectively say. Some people could interpret what Tsunade did against Madara as the end all be all and say, well, she cracked a Susanoo from arguably the strongest shinobi on Earth until Tsutsuki and Six Path characters showed up, right? Besides Hashirama. So the fact that she was able to crack that and she had the speed to crack it implies that if she were to hit Orochimaru and Jiraiya now, it would probably kill them. I mean, that's not a crazy argument. I don't believe that personally, but depending on your rhetoric and your rationale and your rational argument, you can make that case. You can make that case. Give Orochimaru Edo Tensei, it's kind of hard to manage. Yeah, Edo Tensei is a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Especially the war arc Edo Tensei. I mean, he GG's almost anybody with that, including Madara. I mean, if he has enough time to summon the Edo Tenseis, that is. Even Madara would have trouble with him. Because the Edo Tenseis were all Hokage. Near their peak, by the way. That was a heavily improved Edo Tensei. Interesting conversation, because there is arguments for each side. There really is. Even for Tsunade, who I personally think is probably the weakest out of the three Sannin. Not by much, but I think she's inferior to the other two. But yeah, the three Sannin, that's always going to be a contentious topic. It's an interesting one to debate. It's a good one to. It's a good topic to use to train your skills as far as power scaler and a debater. It's a good one to engage in because it is contentious. Like Jiraiya versus Orochimaru, debating that, it's difficult, right? I mean, taking away Edo Tensei, that is. Obviously, with Edo Tensei, he beats almost anybody. War Arc Edo Tensei, he defeats almost anyone. But it is contentious without that. So, definitely. Fuck it. This is always go to. Alright. KCM2 Sage Naruto versus a live Hashirama. That's a good one. That's a good one for sure. So, what would my thoughts be on that one? Right. KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto. Well, I would say this. If anything, the speed could be a problem, right? Because it was stated by Madara himself that Tobirama was, during their heyday, he was the fastest shinobi on Earth. Right? And we can safely say KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto is faster than Minato, who I think we can all agree is faster than Tobirama. And probably by quite a bit at that point. That's contentious, but the point is he's most likely faster. So, the speed could be a problem for a live Hashirama. However, it's highly contentious. I mean, a live Hashirama acknowledges him, right? He acknowledges him, but you'd have to use a lot of induction. Clearly, KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto does well against Obito, or Jubito more specifically. A live Hashirama gets blitzed and obliterated. Well, and his brother does as well simultaneously when he blitzed Tobirama and Hashirama, blew them in half. They both stated that they just couldn't handle him. It was Sasuke and Naruto that were able to handle it better than anyone else on the battlefield, implying that they could possibly be stronger. Also keep in mind that Hashirama has Sage Mode, right? And you still think he couldn't handle Jubito. So you can make some induction, right? Based off the fact that the arguments they've been making is Hashirama's Woodstock can suppress the Biju. That's an interesting argument. I would argue this, right? He was able to suppress the Ten Tails with his gates. If I'm not mistaken, though, the Ten Tails did break out, if I'm not mistaken. I should double check that, though, just to make sure. So I make the right argument here. So the Ten Tails was gonna free itself after a while, and as we know, Jinchurikis are stronger than Ten Tails. I mean, the Jinchurikis are stronger than the respective tailed beasts. So I would say Jubito was probably stronger than the Ten Tails, and clearly from the way he blitzed all the Hokage, literally all of them, like destroying, it was obliterating them, and the fact that Naruto, with KCM2 Sage Mode, did the best, and that's from the eye test. He did the best out of everyone on the battlefield. Inductively, you could say, well, that would most likely mean that Naruto at that point was the top dog on their side, right? He was the top dog out of everyone on the battlefield. Just from the performance that they all had against Jubito. As far as the argument, Hashirama, Woodstock, and suppressed the Biju, again, like I just said, I think Jubito was beyond all the Biju and beyond the Ten Tails itself, which is obviously stronger than all the Biju individually. So, and probably even combined, to be honest. I would even argue that one-on-one, I don't know if Hashirama would even beat the Ten Tails, like defeat it and tame it the way he did the other Biju. So, again, from all this you can extrapolate and make an inductive argument, right? It's not empirical, it's not objective per se, but you can make an inductive argument for KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto. He performed better than all the Hokage did against Jubito. You could even argue he might have been slightly above EMS Sasuke, or you could counter that by saying, well, he just needed the Sage Mode from Jugo. He already had the firepower. But again, it's an inductive argument. So basically, Naruto is so fast he wouldn't get caught in the wood release. Yeah, I would say it's highly probable that he's faster than Hashirama. If Tobirama was faster than Hashirama and Madara, and Minato is looked at as faster than all of them, KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto transitively would be superior to all of them in terms of speed, and is at bare minimum relative as far as chakra reserves, and most likely due to that in terms of AP. I would argue he's probably above Hashirama based off their performances and overall ability as a shinobi. He's at a level where he did better against the strongest villain they've ever encountered up until that point. Right? He did better than everyone else did. Clearly, you can just look at that. That's not me using headcanon. He did better. Objectively, he did better. So, it is contentious, but if I would probably go with KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto. He most definitely has the speed, based off statements, right? Based off statements, you can make the case. He has the speed advantage, most definitely. Most definitely. So yeah, I would say KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto. And I could probably make a better case with more time to assess it, but this spitballing ideas, that would be my argument if it was off the cuff, which this was. But that's an interesting one. That's a good one to that's a good one to discuss. The way I look at it as well is you can make a narrative argument as well and say, well, Naruto mastering this, right, and being able to go against Jubito is kind of like a narrative. It's the narrators giving a narrative indication that Naruto is becoming the top dog. Him and Sasuke are becoming the kings of the shinobi world, right? You can make a narrative argument as well. Just the fact that they were able to at least kind of put Jubito in a corner, and the fact that all the Hokage got blissed and fucked up, kind of is an indication from the narrator saying, "Hey, man, they're starting to become the top dogs of the shinobi world now. It's no longer the old generation." Kind of a passing of the torch, like what is currently happening in Boruto. It's kind of similar, narratively, and that adds up, right? It adds up. For Naruto and Sasuke, they basically had these certain checkpoints, right? For Naruto, you know, some big checkpoints. Hashi says that Naruto has similar chakra to him without being in his presence. Yeah, Hashirama has the ability to sense chakra from long distances. So yeah, that's true. But what I was gonna say is there's checkpoints for Naruto and Sasuke, right, where they reach these new levels, such as when Naruto learned the Rasen Shuriken. You can make a case that he was relative to Kakashi at that point. I know that's contentious, but Kakashi stated it, right? He defeated a character that Kakashi was slightly inferior to, I'd argue, in Kakazu. I think they were within the same weight class, at least taijutsu-wise, but Kakazu was superior. Naruto comes in, takes care of him. I know people would make the argument, well, he only had a couple hearts left. But the way Naruto thoroughly exterminated him, right, indicates that he's on a new level. When he learned Sage Mode, that's a clear checkpoint that he passed up Jiraiya, who didn't have perfect Sage Mode, like Naruto. Naruto learning KCM2 and outspeeding the Red Kage is a checkpoint that he finally surpassed his father, as stated by the Red Kage, right? So there's certain checkpoints that are ingrained in the storyline narratively, right? For Sasuke as well. Sasuke kills Orochimaru. That kind of indicates that he might have surpassed his master, although that's later on contended when Suigetsu says, well, the only reason you beat him because he was sick. So, but yeah, there's checkpoints is the point. There's checkpoints, and that point in the war arc, Naruto and Sasuke were becoming the top dogs of the verse as far as the good guys. Obviously, Jubito is stronger than them, but the passing of the torch. It's a big theme in Naruto, clearly. Now it's happening with Boruto and Kawaki, with Naruto and Sasuke being nerfed. So it's interesting to see this passing of the torch taking place. As far as debating, I want to bring you guys some debates. I'm going to try maybe do another J-Wars in the foreseeable future. Possibly. With prep time this time. To get me at my best. Alright, you guys will get me at my best with that. I came in blindly, but still. Hopefully in the foreseeable future I do something like that. I know there's a lot of new individuals within the Discord. So. And in further news, I'm still going to do the watch party thing. Should be cool. You guys voted for MCU, which I fuck with. I like the MCU as well. Seth highlights. I think Seth is slowly starting to hate that guy. This is crazy. Versus the other big three. Let's see. Where's Seth highlights at? The 1 minute clips on actual Seth's YouTube stream thing is nice. Yeah, he's embracing it now. He probably sees that highlights dude making a ton of money probably. He's like, fuck that shit, I gotta make some money too. Seth is making some money, that's for sure. That's for sure. On the streams, man, it's insane. He has goons in there, just paying him money. Alright. Since I haven't streamed in a while, let's watch that one. Seth discusses Naruto, Ichigo, and Luffy versus Goku. With 6. Okay. Alright, last video we'll react to. Fuck it, I haven't streamed in a while, so. Alright, let me put this on. Where are you? There you are. Of course there's an ad. Let's wait for that to end. I'm interested to hear his thoughts on this. Let's see. My thoughts on 6. What are my thoughts on him? With people not liking him and all. Oh, okay. I think some people might have this perception that he was handed this position, but I think 6 is a legitimate, knowledgeable anime enthusiast, and I think it's misplaced resentment. I don't think you should resent him. If anything, he's another figure within the anime community that can give valuable information. You know, I just think it's misplaced. And he did seem to come out of nowhere, but he he keeps up with the more knowledgeable individuals like Seth, like Swag, which is the reason why they have him on. I personally like Six. You know, talked to him a few times. He's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. He seems very knowledgeable. But yeah, I do see that's group yelling within the streams that they don't like him. It's inevitable in this community, unfortunately. Alright, let's put this video on. The same song on repeat, all his songs. Yeah. I do agree with that. He does that a lot. Hopefully he changed that up. Hopefully he does. I think he's been doing that. I think he hasn't been using the same song. I haven't seen his videos in a while, but alright, let me fix this. That one Naruto flute theme. Oh yeah, he did have that a lot in his videos, especially his older ones. Like every video. Alright. That's too big. Shit, let me fix it. His haters probably wish they were even half successful. Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, success breeds resentment from certain individuals that aren't content with their own lives. It's just the way it works, you know, in this world. It's unfortunate. It really is. It's really unfortunate that that's the way success is perceived by many. It's very unfortunate. There's a lot of people that want attention, right? And if they can't garner that attention from their ability, they'll just attack others with ability, and they'll try to gain attention that way from those successful people to feel special. It's kind of sad, you know, kind of sad. It's just an unfortunate, inevitable event that takes place every day on social media. The more successful you are, the more haters you're going to have. It's just an inevitable outcome. However, you will have a lot of supporters too. And a lot of people like Six, you know, which is the reason why he's growing. So, shout out to Six for that. Alright, folks, let's do this. If you guys hear this well, let me know. Let me go ahead and... But yeah, hopefully in the foreseeable future, when I earn my stripes, collab with Six in the future. Yeah, he did make a new Discord, by the way. It's on his. He posted it on his community tab. All right, let's do this, folks. I think it's lagging. Of course it is.
Part 1 10-10.
There we go.
Who can part 1 10-10 beat?
Bro, Tatakai 4 is spamming.
So I was like, well, someone paid you $10 to ban him. Like, ban him. Who can part 1 10-10 beat in Dragon Ball?
I'll have to check that server out. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Did she scratch Tamari
No.
in the manga?
No.
Oh shit.
In
Sorry,
the
guys.
manga, their fight isn't even shown.
Oh, never mind. That's just the video. I thought something happened.
No, I mean like, because
It's just the video itself.
You look at the anime, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the anime. But look at the manga. Look at the manga. Like low key. She scratched that bitch up?
No, it's because they just got out the forest to death or something.
Was she dirty from that
Probably
though?
dirt. Probably dirt.
Was she dirty before the 10-10 fight started?
Where'd she scratched at though? I'm not.
You see, you blind? Like,
You talking about the shit on her clothes?
it's on her face too, bitch.
Bro, there's like a dirt smudge on her face.
God damn it.
You know what I'm
ads,
saying,
bro. I need to
though,
get the ad blockers. Set the program on how that's being paid today. 2 ads. Wow.
Do you think strength is a gift? It's not.
Shout out to LeBron. All right.
I don't know. Maybe her tools were like dirty and some. Like,
Shut the.
fucking
You're
metal dust
you're
came
such a
off of 'em.
goon. You're such a goon. You're actually a goon.
I am a goon. I am a goon. You thought I wasn't gonna admit to that shit?
Look, maybe 1010 would beat up like Bacterion with like high diff. I don't know. Fuck. She might think he's stinky though. Like Patara, I donated $5 last stream. Can you answer my question? What? Why don't you just ask the question now for the $5 you just donated?
It's a waste of money.
What was your question, bro?
Bro, that nigga had to be trolling. Bro.
He's hella trolling, bro.
Yeah, it has to be.
Lord
You know,
Lowe's
like
with
money
$50
in
again.
this
Yo, thank you for the $50 again. That sounds like what I make passively a month 6. While I'm a big fan, I'd feel pretty dumb dropping that much at once. And yes, a in-depth Sephiroth bid. He's my favorite character in fiction. I'd appreciate it a lot.
Damn.
15K.
Oh, damn. Seth's making that bag, man.
Have y'all seen Medaka Box in Scale Doodle Bob? I have seen a chapter of Medaka Box. I've seen anime, and I will think about scaling Doodle Bob. Thanks for $2. I'll do it again then for a total of $10. Whatever you catch up on One Piece, you think you can do a fight where Ichigo, Naruto, and Luffy 3v1 Goku. Yeah, Goku farts and they die. You're welcome.
What the?
Bro said a 2
nice
minute
take.
video.
Yeah, there you go. There's the video. You can upload that on the Seth channel. Highlights.
Damn.
You can upload that. I think it'd be all right. Thanks
What a
for the
take.
$5 though. Appreciate you. His favorite character in fiction is Sephiroth.
Who is that?
Who the fuck is Seth Roth, man?
What?
Who is Sephiroth?
You know the long white-haired motherfucker from like Final Fantasy?
Oh, I'm not familiar with Final Fantasy, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
This dude, bro. You don't remember him?
I mean, I don't play Final Fantasy, but yeah.
You don't need to
who
know
it
it. He's
is.
like a fucking cultural icon, bro. What do you mean? Have you ever
Yeah.
considered
When you
scaling
said it, I knew.
Medaka Box? No. I haven't considered scaling
Goku
that, but thank
farts
you.
on all 3 of them. Sounds about right.
Goku can't see Ichigo. I love that shit. It's so cringy, bruh. Damn, we got like 600 viewers today. What the fuck's going on? What is today?
It's crazy. It's fucking
600 viewers on a Monday?
Thursday? No, it's
PD from
Monday.
Assure about
600
the
viewers
HO
on a Monday,
5G.
bruh. Ninja Cat with the $5.
Dang,
Thank you for
guys
the
in
$5.
multiverse
Appreciate that.
and
Actually, it's
outer.
800 viewers in total.
That's insane.
820. Holy
I need
shit.
to
Thank you all.
finish Bleach so I can get my takes.
Now unban all the Tatakais. $2 ain't
I'm not
enough.
gonna lie, it's kind of a chore early
I
on.
want
Yeah,
50
you
bucks.
tripping.
50 bucks for each one.
I'm starting to open up to it.
You didn't even sound like the real Nigward. The real one would have dropped fucking like 100 to say that shit.
Wait, is that a fake one?
Yeah, you ain't the real one.
Did Tatakai make a fake one? That's low-key funny as fuck. Doom Guy versus Virgil, Devil May Cry. I don't know Devil May Cry scaling that much, but I think Doomslayer wins. I'm not 100% certain, though. I don't know all the
is really
scaling on
haxy.
Devil May
Yeah,
Cry.
he's a very
off the top of my
mentioned,
head.
highly mentioned
Someone who's
anime
really played
character,
him,
and
so.
a very revered one.
It is
I'm gonna
the
find out
same
why
guy.
that is very soon.
Yeah.
Wait,
I have
that's
more
the
time
real
now.
Squidward?
I have to just
Yeah.
grind through that
shit.
Bleach watch event. I have to skip through it.
Donation.
I donated $1 million last stream and you never answered my question.
Oh, thanks for the $10. I'm
1
sorry, I didn't
million?
answer you. Can you donate the $1 million again? Appreciate you. Thanks for the $10 though, for sure.
I scale it. DMC
Why is
like
Sephiroth
high-
more than
high to
all of
infinite
Final
40.
Fantasy combined? Though?
Interesting.
I don't scale Final Fantasy. I'd have to look into it for the 15K that you give me.
Bro, Nigward, you gave 25 per Tatakai alt, bro.
Thank you for the $50, by the way. Keep fighting. Can you keep fighting with him? Like provoke him?
Shout out to Squidward, man.
Fighting with. He keeps using me like
Done a lot of money,
$25 every
Seth.
reply. Can you keep fighting with him? Anyway,
Yeah, but I'm gonna have a reputation for everyone, bro. 28th graders, no melee weapons? It's still a slap, bro.
yeah, I could be 28th graders. Most 8th graders are like 110 pounds.
28th
Like
graders.
you're asking us to beat up a bunch of 13-year-olds. It's not gonna be that hard.
They just started like puberty and shit, bro. Like,
I mean, if
don't
there's
know.
20 coming out and they start
Half of them
biting
aren't
you and
gonna
shit,
know how
it's
to
gonna be a
throw a
problem.
punch.
I don't know about that.
And like, you know, it's just a W.
Don't
Hey, Seth and
underestimate the
6
power of
Medaka
being
with all
bit
our axe
everywhere.
versus Goku. I don't
that shit
scale Medaka, bro.
hurts.
Bro, you donated
Even when a kid bites you, it
$4
hurts.
to confirm I didn't scale it. I've only read one chapter to ask me what my thoughts were on her and power scaling. You're tripping, bro. And you're only doing it for $2 too. You're spamming $2. I don't think I don't know what you're doing. You spam $2 for a question. Next time you donate $2, I'm ignoring your bitch ass because you said something so dumb.
Damn.
You know damn well I said I only read one chapter. I don't scale her, so you asked a scaling question. Shut up, bitch. Shut up. More than $2 next time.
Damn.
Meant to say this last dono, Naruto 5K sexy jutsu with another 20 years of training since the last
Possible
Shonen
fake
versus
mobile
Ada.
game scans like
Depends
90.
on his mental state,
Yeah.
which we will find out soon, maybe.
There's definitely some really shitty mobile games out there. I see those horrible ads on social media, like fake ads that make the game look like it's game of the year.
Seth, who wins? A
material,
bloodlusted
and it's,
Clifford
like,
the
in
big
reality, a
red
piece of
dog
shit
or
when
the
you download
bear?
it. It's insane.
We're gonna drag in something chill.
I see that all the time. It's so irritating.
They're from Elden Ring.
Clifford would slam that stupid bear.
Hold on, is Clifford on versus wiki?
He has
Clifford
to
the
be,
big red dog versus wiki. Small building level.
That's it.
He's only small, dude. The bear might fuck him up. Like,
No, I
See,
thought,
actually
bro.
Clifford
I just
might be ass.
assumed that
I've heard
those
of Devil
old,
May
like,
Cry a few
goofy
times.
cartoons all have
people
like
seem to like
fucking
it.
multiversal scaling or some shit.
Most people that I see
these
that I
guys.
talk
Clifford
to
might
that
be
know
ass,
about it
bro.
enjoy it.
Size manipulation, minor air manipulation, and
Aesthetically, it looks
enhanced
pretty
senses.
cool too.
Yeah, the bear slams, unfortunately, bro.
Any Dragon Ball woman, canon or not, I like Toa, and I don't know. Maybe one of the
21.
Wow.
21.
21's all right. She kind of weird though. Kind of a weirdo. I mean, Toa a freak
She's
too,
weird,
but
bro, but like,
Android 18 is the baddest, bro.
21, bro.
I mean, like,
Baddie.
Bulma is like rich as fuck. I might do it for the money.
I'm not that attracted to Bulma, bro.
That's about it. That's all my comments on
Hot
that.
take.
Thanks for the $18. Had to shit, but I'm back. Just unban original Tatokai. And thanks for the $5. Tatokai 5. You should actually give an extra $1 each alt you make. So the Tatokai 6 should give $6, and then like etc. That'd be funny. So thank you for the $5. $2. Part 1 Kakashi versus Soul Society Shuhei Hisage. That is way too complex of a question for $2. But thank you for the $2, bro.
Android 21.
Seth can Beerus solo Bleach. Yeah.
Oh shit, my bad, folks.
Well, yeah. My fiance says you sound like and have the mannerisms of someone who still has the V card. She'd be wrong. I'm actually insanely depressed because I broke up with my old fiance. I lost my virginity when I was 13
Android
and I haven't
21, yeah,
forgotten.
she has that look, you know.
Okay, low-key, if I lost my virginity when I was 13 to a 16-year-old, was I raped?
Damn,
Like,
Seth.
be straight with me. I'm being half ironic. Anyway, why don't you and Clyde follow each other on Twitter? I thought Clyde deleted Twitter.
I just like blondies for some reason. in anime.
Anyway.
Like Android 18, she's a bad bitch, but 21 is fine. Too,
See.
though. She's fine.
Bear
not
press
bad.
tarnish who is multiverse. The bear kind of go crazy. I asked it for 5, but you missed it. You're hella capping. I'm looking at my list right now. There's nothing there. Look, I'm just saying, like, when I was 13, I met a bitch on Halo Reach during summer, and
Damn,
she
son.
was 16, and I lost my virginity. And, like, people, I've been, like, I used to brag about it, and then 6 and other people started calling me a victim. So I don't know anymore.
victim?
I don't know what it is.
Like, this nigga legitimately got victimized by a
Like,
Halo
I
girl.
I used to brag about it, but now I don't know if I'm a victim or not.
Sure.
But other than that, you know, I was engaged. I had flings and stuff.
You was
But
engaged?
I would say that
Wow.
I do kind of have some virgin energy because I'm a born again virgin that talks about cartoons all day. So that is true. Born again.
Stuff. Seth might be
Bro's a
capping.
victim.
Yeah, that's quite the story. He made a girl
Yo,
in Halo
Tatake
Reach
5
and
with
clapped her.
$6. Yo, thank you. Can Tatake
Who
7
knows, man? That's quite
give
the,
7?
That's quite a stretch.
Bro,
I don't really see gamer girls
with you, bro.
hooking up with guys they meet on Xbox
cool.
Live. You know what I'm saying?
Cap? Not cap. Bro, you're a victim. Tatakai 6 with $10. Like, how many 6 clones could you fight beat in a fight at the same time? Like if 6 came out and he's like ding ding ding, and a little mimic tear falled out. I don't know. probably 3.
Some gamer
Bro,
girls
the
are like,
mimics
oh
are
yeah, for
fucking
sure.
retarded.
Bad.
Honestly,
Gamer
if
girls
you
are-
had a
bad
mimic
gamer
tier,
girls are
bruh,
peak.
that could like tank like 800 fucking
can relate
times
to you,
damage that you
speak
could,
to
like
them-
it might be
speak on
hard
things
as
that we're interested in.
fuck.
They're fine. The glasses.
Uh,
Bro, it's the best.
Part 1 Kakashi versus
The
Soul
hot ones,
Society
right.
Shuhei Hisage. Is Shuhei who
Sure.
the fuck I think he is?
SS Sniper Wolf, bruh. That's a baddie. Low-key should probably
I'm pretty
fix your gameplays,
sure
but
Kakashi
really
fucking
care.
annihilates him. Don't listen to these troglodytes. You was in there. I know, and I'm depressed. I regret choosing YouTube over her. Hopefully she's listening.
Damn.
Anyway, would you choose Delta or Ada? Yo, thank you for the $18.
Great
Mooney,
question.
you a cute bitch. Keep donating.
The
Love
gamer
this
girls I
energy.
see on gaming apps are
Delta
mostly
or
nasty.
Ada?
That's fair.
Hold up. Let me do some research. Ada age.
Ada, no, fuck that. Ada's like 15. Like, thinking about
Is
it,
Ada?
Ada's like 15.
Ada has to be a child.
Ada? Oh,
Just
yeah,
otherwise, she's like a
Let me
pedophile.
retract any statement I made on Ada. I don't know how old
Ada's
she is.
either a child or a pedophile. I'm gonna choose Delta.
Delta's bad. Yeah.
I think Delta's the safe option there.
Oh, on dating apps, yeah. Dude.
What would you do if you had
Dating
to quit
apps
making
is a
videos?
it's a very interesting
Message her.
area,
Anyway,
you know, to dating apps.
let's see. Seth got groomed. Fuck. Seth, you got AIDS? Why would I have AIDS?
Damn.
What the hell?
Damn, son.
Oh,
Yeah, on
shit.
dating apps, it's all about first impressions. Some advice
Hey,
on that
please
is
read my
give
last
a good
dono.
first
It was a
impression.
vid idea. Thanks,
Right.
bruv. Also,
Everything
sorry
has to
that
be
you
in
got
balance.
conned.
Don't show too much interest, but don't seem like an
Let me
asshole.
look what your last
Right.
dono was,
Come
buddy.
off as organic.
I don't see it nowhere.
You know, but don't overdo it.
I don't see it nowhere.
With women, you have to, everything has to be
I
in
don't see
balance.
I scrolled down at least 30
the
minutes and
groomed.
your dono's
Seth.
not here. So I don't know when the fuck you donated. Sorry, buddy. Appreciate it, though. Seth got EDP'd.
Damn.
Fuck. Watch the strange things about the Johnsons. I'm not for free. Stop spamming it.
All right, folks. I think that was it. That was a fun vid. Fun video. All right, let me go ahead and put this back. That was a fun video and a great take on the Big Three versus Goku. Very, very based, for sure. Yeah, they speak a lot about anime females. And what I've realized, right, this is just an observation, is hentai is a big thing. You know, I see a lot of anime enthusiasts just drooling over hentai. It's bizarre, you know. Personally, hentai's cool, you know, but when it comes to that, I just stick to the real world stuff. But hentai does have this aesthetic, right? The exaggerated parts of anatomy of a female. And I understand that. You know, there's some bad bitches in anime. Delta, Android 18, some other ones out there. And I understand the appeal. You know, I understand the appeal. Yeah. But when it comes to dating apps, you know, in the real world, it truly is a process that you have to master, right, with women. Because women are extremely pedantic when they make their assessment of a man. When they're trying to assess candidates, they're extremely pedantic. They look at every aspect of your very being. Right? You say the wrong word. You say it in the wrong way. You forget something, whatever it is, especially early on. Right? You have to kind of reel your way in. You have to work your way in. Right? And the goal, obviously, is to get box or a relationship, but you have to work your way in. You got to be very careful. Of course, be yourself. Don't change that. But it's all a game. It really is. And the more experience you have, the more masterful you become with women. You know, it's truly interesting, the dynamic when people are meeting each other, when you're approaching a woman, whether it's online or in person. I'm no connoisseur, you know, no connoisseur, but it is interesting to observe. I'm very observant. So, but yeah, anime. There's some fine anime bitches out there for sure. You know, for sure. Gamer girls. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. All right, folks. I'll take a couple more questions if you guys have any. Any questions you may have before I depart. Next time I'll try to have a friend on. Maybe we could make it more entertaining. Yeah, I'll try to have somebody on with me on the stream. Any final questions? Would you think about making a J highlight channel, post highlights from the streams and stuff? That's a good idea. That way I don't oversaturate my main channel with this. Or just do them on your main or not at all. I think when it comes to that, I would say the best option right now would just be stick to the main channel for now until I grow to a considerable extent. And then, yeah, I think a main channel would be a good idea. It would be a good idea to just keep the highlights on another area where they could go to that. It doesn't oversaturate the main channel with, you know, I just want to keep well done edited videos there. But yeah, I think in the future I will do that. Make a highlight channel, kind of like Seth with his Seth channel. I think that's what the move will be. It's a good idea. As far as videos, I am going to be making more videos that are, you know, that I make myself. I have a couple individuals that I know that are knowledgeable on Naruto. Hopefully make some discussion videos, kind of like the ones that Seth and Swag make when they collab, or Six. Kind of collab with some individuals, talk about some interesting topics, give some interesting takes. In the foreseeable future, I'll be doing that for sure. Try to be in the Discord more often too. I know Six is always in his Discord. You know, he's always chilling with his crew and stuff. Try to do that this summer. I have more time on my hands now, such as the watch party, which is next Wednesday night. It's gonna be cool. Have a watch party for the first time on the Discord. I'm gonna put another poll up. I guess most people voting for the MCU movie. You're lazy making videos. Yeah, it's a grind. When you're making scripted videos, it's a grind. It really is. You know, making a scripted video is not easy, which is why bigger YouTubers like Seth have editors. They have stuff like that. They don't have to worry about that process. All they do is, you know, just all they do is the voiceover, and that's it, really. But you have to get to that position first. It is difficult. Quite the grind. I definitely want to bring some discussion videos which take away some rigorous editing, since it will just be a discussion with someone else that's knowledgeable. Of course, I'll bring some other ones where it's just me giving some takes, some ideas in the works. But it is a grind. It's not easy. Try to edit them decent. Yeah, it is a grind. You gotta like make sure every small detail is done adequately. Someone I wanted to speak on was NC Hammer. You know, I saw Seth and Six completely annihilate him when they were criticizing his video, and Itachi is stupid. My thoughts on him and doing some debates about Elijah Sage Hashirama versus KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto from the War Arc for 6 pass. Yeah, I gave my take on that earlier. My argument would be transitively, you can make this connection that Tobirama was faster than Hashirama and Madara, as stated by Madara explicitly. Minato is implied to be faster than Tobirama, and that was in base, I believe. And then KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto heavily outperforms all Hokage in the battlefield against Jubito. So that implies that he probably is superior to Hashirama in terms of speed, and possibly in terms of overall ability as a shinobi, just based off their performance against Jubito. That's more of a inductive argument. There is some deduction as well, such as the speed, based on statements, but that's a good one to discuss. And maybe soon I'll give my take in the Discord or something. That's a good one. He's relative enough and can suppress as well as absorb chakra from Naruto. Yeah, that's an interesting ability people like to bring up. That he can absorb chakra. I'll have to do further analysis of that. But yeah, that's an interesting one. And all stuff we've seen in the War Arc is with Edo, who was weaker than when he was alive. Yeah, but I would say they're near their peak. But yeah, it's debatable. It's contentious. That's one of the the best topics to discuss, because it's very contentious. Like Jiraiya versus Orochimaru, Sage Mode KCM2 Naruto versus Hashirama. It's very interesting. Hashirama fought the full Nine Tails cloaked in the Susanoo, not just half. Yeah. There is some arguments for Hashirama, for sure. For sure. Sorry guys, they're mowing the fucking grass outside. Man is built to be down. Biju, most of Naruto's power coming from half of Kurama. Yeah. Possibly, maybe during the watch party we discuss it. Not at official debates, but yeah. What's going on, AJ McCarty? Thanks for coming in. The streaming. It's been quite some time since I have been around. You know, been busy, but I have returned. This summer, gonna be trying to interact with the Discord more. Maybe do some debates. Maybe another J Wars. It's been a while since I've, sparred verbally. My mind's been preoccupied with other things. But yeah, maybe during the watch party, before or after, we can have some discussions. It's interesting. People that join, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, or people that are already in here. But what I was gonna say about NC Hammer is that he's an interesting fella, because obviously he isn't the peak of Naruto authoritative figures when it comes to to knowledge and to the ability to articulate your logical deduction or induction. But he brings hot takes. He's very good at that. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, he knows what will get clicks, what will get views. So it's very interesting. He's a very interesting individual. Very interesting. Glad I joined stream. Just got done playing softball. Softball is fun. There's definitely people who'd want to debate Hashirama versus Naruto. It's an interesting one. There's a solid amount of people in your server who want to debate it. Oh yes, definitely know that. Yeah. As far as debates, maybe when I get bigger, I might do what Seth did and post them somewhere else. Because debates, it breeds hostility. I love to debate. You know, I love the sparring in ways, in some sick, twisted way. I love the hostility. I thrive in it. But, you know, it breeds resentment from some individuals. And I see why Seth stopped. I see why Six says he stopped. It just kind of gives a bitter taste to some people. I love to debate, though, you know. Possibly future debates I won't record. Maybe the J-Wars, probably, if I do another J-Wars. Or if I debate a friend or something. But it breeds resentment. I've had some bonds break because of it, actually. If you guys have carefully watched my channel, you guys know who I'm talking about. But, we want to debate against fake characters. I'd have to do prep for sure. If it's like from a verse I'm not familiar with, I'd have to prepare. And then decide if it's even worth debating, you know. Like fucking, I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fucking broken. Someone said like Yu-Gi-Oh! Versus Naruto, I'm pretty sure. From my understanding, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fucking broken, so yeah, I'd have to assess. Next time I'm gonna be prepared. So it won't be as easy. Next time, you know. I will be prepared. Thoroughly. But it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I know those other animes, those other verses, there's some broken ass shit out there. That was a fact. Broken ass shit. I'm kind of the same boat as Six and Seth. I just know, like, you know, the big three pretty well. Well, besides not One Piece, but I know like mainstream anime pretty well. Getting into more. Yeah, I've heard of Gilgamesh a few times. He's quite respected. But yeah, in the watch party, we'll have some discussions about that. I'm going to have another Hokage in there, hopefully two. We have some discussions on things. Tobirama Solo's One Piece. Yeah, I've heard that One Piece doesn't scale that high. I can't speak on that. I haven't watched it. But yeah, I've heard that it doesn't scale quite as high. Definitely not Dragon Ball level, obviously. But yeah. Tobirama's, yeah, for sure. But alright, folks, I will see you guys soon. The watch party is next Wednesday. I'm going to create a poll right now. It's probably going to be MCU. I mean, that's what you guys voted for, mostly. I have some options. I'm going to come up with a few, maybe 6 to 8 options for you guys to choose from. Maybe more. There's a lot of good ones. One Piece is weak to water or something. Yeah. So I'll see you guys soon. Speak to you guys soon. And this was a good stream, folks. So stay tuned. Be there Wednesday. You know, I'm going to have hopefully a couple Hokages with me. Maybe several if I'm lucky. It should be a good stream. Discuss some things. And just interact more often and create some more base content, folks. But appreciate you guys stopping by. And I'll see you guys soon. And until then, stay classy, folks.